Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by Patreon supporter Cookie. Huge thanks to Cookie and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Cookie reached out asking for a Najeela the Blade Blossom deck, and I was more than happy to help him. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Najeela the Blade Blossom is a 3-mana 3/2 legendary human warrior. She says that whenever a warrior attacks, we may have its controller create a 1/1 white warrior creature token that's tapped and attacking. We may also play Wooburg to untap all attacking creatures. They gain Trample, Lifelink, and Haste until end of turn. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase, but we can only activate this ability during combat. After her release, Najeela quickly became one of the most powerful and feared of commanders. But Cookie didn't want a big, scary CEDH Najeela deck. Instead, he wanted to do something a bit more relaxing. He wanted a politics deck, and a politics deck for under $150. And what could be more political than voting? But we need more than just votes for a commander deck, which is why we have our handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. As I'm sure you've heard by now, this channel is sponsored by Ultimate Card. I know you have a lot of options to choose from out there when it comes to sleeves, but my personal favorites are the ones made by Ultimate Card. I've tried other companies before, but no other sleeve has the balance of both durability and shuffle feel that I find with Ultimate Guard. Find out if your local game store carries the Cortex sleeves from Ultimate Guard, or click on the link down below to order yourself a set from Amazon. One more thing before we get started. I've been streaming Final Fantasy XIV over on my other channel, Musings by Danon. If you want to pop in and ask some questions, chat about Commander, or just hang out, you're more than welcome to. I'm not sure what the schedule will be going forward, but for now it's every weekday in the afternoons or evenings. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Arcane Sanctum, Crumbling Necropolis, Savage Lands, Jungle Shrine, Seaside Citadel, Sandstep Citadel, Mystic Monastery, Opulent Palace, Nomad Outpost, Frontier Bivouac, Idyllic Beachfront, Sacred Peaks, Contaminated Aquifer, Haunted Mire, Wooded Ridgeline, Molten Tributary, Sunlit Marsh, Geothermal Bog, Radiant Grove, Tangled Islet, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, Bajuka Bog, 2 Plains, 2 Islands, 2 Swamps, 3 Mountains, and 3 Forests make up our land base for this deck. Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Chromatic Lantern, Model of Unity, Mind Stone, Farseek, Rampant Growth, Nature's Lore, 3 Visits, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, Skyshroud Claim, Tempt with Discovery, and Pier's Whim make up our mana ramp package. Plea for Power, Illusion of Choice, Arrestor of the Council, Sail into the West, Corvath's Fury, Coercive Portal, Custody Squire, Humble Defector, Xantia Sleeper Agent, Edric Spymaster of Trest, The Council of Four, Intellectual Offering, Factor Fiction, and Scheming Symmetry help us to keep our hands full and to find answers. Council's Judgment, Capital Punishment, Tyrant's Choice, Vitrus's Maneuver, Zindersplit's Judgment, Trap the Trespassers, Swords to Plowshares, Druid of Purification, Counterspell, Out of Bounds, Generous Gift, Commit Memory, and Path to Exile help us to maintain a modicum of control. Magister of Worth, Damn, and Blasphemous Act help us to reset the board as needed. Thousand Year Storm, Arcane Bombardment, Double Vision, Swarm Intelligence, and Split Decision all help to make voting more fun, and help with a lot of our ramp and other interaction as well. Ballot Broker, Brago's Representative, Tivit, Seller of Secrets, Grudge Keeper, Regna's Sanction, Master of Ceremonies, Brina the Demagogue, Wrong Turn, Reigns of Power, Volcanic Offering, Selvalla's Stampede, Derevi Imperial Tactician, Druid's Repository, and Nature's Will make up the core of our deck and how we plan on eventually winning. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 51 mana sources split between 37 lands and 14 pieces of ramp. A little high, but a lot of our ramp is on theme, so it's okay. 14 pieces of card advantage, 13 pieces of interaction, 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Commit Memory and Bojuka Bog, 3 sudden I win cards in Derevi Imperial Tactician, Druid's Repository, and Nature's Will. It's a Najeela deck, of course I had to include these 3. In order to explain why they're here, we're going to have to discuss how Najeela works at a CEDH level. Remember, Najeela's activated ability can only be used during combat. So to start, we should review the steps in the combat phase. You have Beginning of Combat, Declare Attackers, Declare Blockers, Combat Damage, End of Combat. Najeela utilizes the End of Combat phase quite a bit, as well as the Declare Attackers phase to go infinite. For you newer players who have never been on the receiving end of a Najeela beatdown, allow me to explain how it works. You need Najeela as well as either Derevi Imperial Tactician, Druid's Repository, or Nature's Will. Nature's Will should be pretty obvious. After damage is dealt, but before the end of combat, we untap 5 lands, tap those lands again, activate Najeela, giving us another combat phase. Repeat until the table is dead. Derevi Imperial Tactician works similarly, but we can respond to each of his triggers one at a time, so we only need a single land that can tap for any colored mana, along with at least 5 creatures who dealt damage. Or 3 untapped lands and 2 warriors. Meanwhile, Druid's Repository can quickly fill up with Najeela, allowing us to attack an infinite number of times. Now, I used to have a Najeela deck, but I took it apart because I didn't have anyone to play CEDH against. But I wouldn't consider this build CEDH by a long shot. Yes, we have numerous ways to go infinite and win games, but we're not running Mana Crypt, Jeweled Lotus, or any free counterspells, and only a single tutor in a 5-color deck. Most of the deck is built around just being silly and having fun, which is exactly what Cookie wanted. But games can't go on forever, can they? Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. I also want to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Josh, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Alex, Daniel, Steve, Kevin, Alex, Cookie, Borgie, Jake, Exiled Rogue, Benasis, Nazwin, Kyo, and Oolong. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.